Hello everyone, it's Jonathan here, founder of Driving Academy, and in today's video I'm going to be teaching you how you can actually shortcut your CDL road test. That's right, I said shortcut. What do I mean by shortcut? Make the test even shorter so you can say less things and pass the test even quicker. So these shortcuts only work if you're going to take your CDL road test with us at our third-party testing facility. Our third-party testing facility is located in Pennsylvania. It's only about a 15-minute drive from our home office where we actually do our training, and this is where we'll actually provide you the CDL road test. That's right, it sounds kind of crazy where school can actually give you the training and then we can actually give you the test as well. So as long as the same person who's training you doesn't give you the test, it's all legal and it's all good, and it doesn't matter what state you're coming from. I mean, last week we just tested a guy from Hawaii, and he came all the way over here just so he can actually finish his training with us here at our school. So that being said, let's get into that secret shortcut that most people have no idea what it's all about. So that shortcut is exactly what I'm talking about, and this shortcut is going to be for the pre-trip inspection. You're like, thank God, John, because the pre-trip inspection is so long as it is already, I need all the shortcuts I can get. So this is a shortcut for you, and hopefully you pay attention. So when you know about the pre-trip inspection, that is inspecting the whole outside of the vehicle. In most cases, you are going to have to do a full inspection, which means the whole vehicle itself, which means the whole front of the truck, both sides of the engine, and then you'll come down the driver's side of the vehicle and finish all the way in the back of the trailer. Now, one of the things that really mess people up is going to be stuff like your brakes, your suspension, and your tires. And that's because they show up 3 different times on our trucks, right? So you're going to have your steering axle, as you can see in these pictures here. You're going to have our drive axle, and then you're also going to have the trailer axle, which means you're going to have to say the same thing every single time. To give you an example, when it comes to the brakes, you're going to have 5 brake items. You're going to have your slack adjusters and push rods, your brake chambers, your brake hoses, lines, and couplings, your brake drums, and your brake linings. And all those 5 brake items, you're going to have to say it 3 separate times on every single tire, right? So how can we actually make it even shorter? So again, if you're taking the test with us at our Pennsylvania testing facility, this is 100% legal. If you're taking the test someplace else, you can try your luck, but I don't know exactly how that examiner is going to handle it. But inside the book itself that I researched, you are able to do this shortcut, which is simply this. So once you get to the first axle, we're going to talk to you about your brakes. My slack adjuster and push rod have no broken, loose, or missing parts. The push rod cannot move more than 1 inch with the brakes released, as an example, right? Then you'll say the same thing for your brake chamber. You'll specify your brake hoses, lines, and couplings are not cracked, worn, or leaking. You'll talk in detail about your brake drum, and then finally finish off with your brake lining, which cannot be worn dangerously thin. So if you give me a full description on the front axle, which is your steering axle for your brakes itself, now when you get to the back axles, you can actually say, I'll inspect the brakes on these axles the same way I would inspect it in the front. As long as you name just the items, you're clear. That means you don't have to repeat all that again and have the chance of messing it up. So to give you an example, if I was to say my slack adjusters and push rods have no broken, loose, or missing parts, and the push rod cannot move more than 1 inch when the brakes are released when pulled by hand, and I say that in the front axle itself, now I get back to the drive axle and the trailer axle, all I have to say is I have a slack adjuster and push rod here, and I would check it just the same way as I did in the front. And as long as you got the one in the front correct, boom, you got a check, and you don't even have to give me details on that item itself. You can do the same thing for the brakes, for the suspension, and even for the tires. But one thing that you must be aware of is if whatever you said in the front is incorrect, that means it's not going to fix you when you get to the back either, right? So if you miss one of the items, for instance, on this example of the slack adjuster and push rod, if you say my slack adjuster and push rod cannot move more than 1 inch with the brakes released, but you miss that whole front part, that's not enough credit to get a point for that item, which means that when you say that in the back, you're not going to get points for that as well. So if you want a shortcut for it, and you know that you're going to get it right the first time, all you got to do is name the item and say, well, I'll inspect that item the same way as I inspected in the front. That's going to give you a lot less words to say. It's going to cut down on your test. And as long as you got the first item correct the first time around, it's going to be a piece of cake for you, and you can blow through that test really, really quickly. So if you want any more tips and tricks, you definitely want to click the link below, which is cdldrivingacademy.com/tour. That's going to give you a link, that's going to give you a virtual school tour that shows you exactly how our different training programs work. It's going to break down the pricing for you and everything like that, so then we can get you on your road to freedom pretty soon. If you have any specific questions for your situation, give us a call, 908-525-3609, and our team is always here to help you out any which way we can. Thanks, and have a fantastic day.